Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition actual play live broadcast that we like to call Morningstar Company Incorporated. We are coming to you from a recorded session because my internet's a potato, and we didn't want you to listen to our workaround, which sounded like a harmonica in an aluminum shed. I'm DMF Saint. I will be your Sherpa this evening, and below me on the screen are all of the players for this campaign. We're going to go around the horn and introduce all of ourselves, starting with Mr. Chum.
Hi, I am Chum. I go by Chum Nation around the internet parts, and I am playing Varys Faerun, a high elf warlock. Yeah, excited and terrified for what's about to happen. So please stay tuned. Joe, over to you.
Hey, I'm Joe. I am the Nation of Joe on Twitch. I am here playing Bree, the Warforged rogue fighter, and yeah, dragons or something. I don't know. Catching.
Everyone, I'm Akechi. I play Delg, the stone-shaping, tree-jumping, god-praying, used to be enfeeble-minded, recently widowed, Wayford Wheel and wish-making, redacted, nature cleric fighter. And everybody says we're doing dragons, but we know we're not doing dragons anymore. Sarah?
That's true.
Dragons are so last episode. Hi, I'm Osarix Franco. I play Cascade Traylon, the water.
No, we're not going to pretend like you just said that. You know why they're not last episode? The whole fucking campaign is centered around a group of dragons.
So they're future episodes. Dragons are future episodes.
Sorry to interrupt. Please introduce yourself.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So I would like to submit my resignation for playing Cascade Traylon in the Water Genasi Order of the Scribes Wizard. I'm really excited. I think we are starting to I just remembered the gross guy, and now I'm sad again, but I'm not going to get into it. Ash, go for it.
Oh man, I was also trying to forget about the gross guy.
So sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Hi, I'm Ash. I go by Ash and Rabbit here on Twitch and over on Twitter. I play Hope the Furbolg Life Cleric, and I too am terrified. I'm going to pass it over to Direct.
Hey guys, I'm a direct threat over here. I'm a direct threat. I'm playing Fenrir Valdov. I'm the sneakiest sneaky boy ever. If this thing's anything like Game of Thrones, we'll see dragons in like, I don't know, 5-6 seasons. So let's figure it out.
And I'm DMF
Face
Saint.
is a dragon.
And my face is a dragon. Yeah, welcome to Morningstar. When we last left off, the party was in the city of Sigil, city of doors, which is at the arguably the center of the entire multiverse. At the top of a giant pillar that no one has ever been able to climb to the top of. Floating in a ring at the center of the Outlands, which is the hub of all of the other planes. We discovered in the last couple sessions, the first couple sessions of Season 3, that there is a grand scheme of things going on, started by a group of ancient dragons who got bored and decided they wanted to play a game to see who was the most powerful and who was the most influential. This game has come down through the ages and is now affecting the 6 people we have here now. Players, can you go over the current trailheads that you all know about?
Figuring out the other argument that this isn't the center of the multi-universe.
Let me pull up the what the fuck to do and where the fuck to go list.
Yep, that's
my
the list
favorite
I was trying to
list.
remember. I couldn't remember if it's
Okay.
called shit to do or
What the fuck
Yeah.
to do
This
and
is
where?
this is the list I was referring to. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good.
So there's a couple of places, right? So we'll just go by plane to start. We've got several leads in Faerun. We can go to Waterdeep for one of the swords, information on Hope's Village, maybe Bree's origins, as well as a way to get to a surgeon for Mist. We can go to Arabelle to petition the Council of Mages for Mist's condition to see if they can help. There's also a sword there, Town Saver, and visit a Draco Lich. There's Tilverton, where there's a Mythalar device. That was one of Artemis's goals, was to look more into that. And then there's the City of Shade, where another sword, Sightblinder, though Fenjor has it, so there's some... We'll finalize possession of the sword in that area.
Step in there real quick
Sword.
Mhm.
before you get too far, because Arabelle is where we got to go. It was the most recent trailhead for the
Yes.
book for Morningstar.
Oh, that's right. Our book for Gross Guy.
Yeah, Black
Yeah.
Book. Did we get a name?
You did not.
We did not.
the master.
So book for Gross Guy added.
Mhm.
And then I have Cormyr on here, but I don't have anything underneath it. So that kind of covers Faerun. There's also the Abyss, where we need to return to Aldenoc's egg to obtain a sword. I'm certain.
Bullshit.
There's Eurelia, where we can go to Turin to learn more about Varys's genealogy and potentially his patron, because that seems to becoming a more urgent issue. There's also the Great Spire to find Talia, who can give us more information, and 2 swords there to finalize possession, Wayfinder and Doomgiver. There's other places of note that at some point we will need to go. Terra to New York and Paris. Bator, the
Beator.
Plain
Bator, I think.
Beator. Yeah, so Avernus, Nessus, the Abyss, a couple of levels, the Grey Wastes, and potentially the Nowhere Inn for additional leads. But right now, the focus, as agreed upon last time, was the Faerun stops, starting with Arabelle.
So, you, at the end of last session, had looked into a potential issue with a friend of your group, Tan, where he was basically being held captive by a corrupt casino boss from the city of Sigil. And you had all discovered that he had basically taken on the debt for Kyrie. And you made an arrangement to secure this book for him that he said is in possession of Morningstar in the city of Arabelle. He also offered to give you transport there if you would like it. I did confirm with you all that when you went to Faerun, you were planning on going towards Oglarasa and the Thunder Peaks. I also did promise you at the end of last session that I would tell you the name of the book.
Ooh.
He did not know the name.
Cool. I was just about to start writing this.
No, but he did. He did know.
It was black.
He did strike me as someone who is probably illiterate.
That tracks.
That's why he had nothing on his desk, because he didn't want to have to read something.
He did know who it was written by, and this information would be on the cover. So here is who it was written by. Are you ready?
Yes.
It was written by a person by the name Samaster.
SMS.
S-A-M-M-A-S-T-E-R. Samaster.
Can I get that one more time, please?
S-A-M-M-A-S-T-E-R. M-M-A-S-T-E-R. In all likelihood, this book will also include 2 titles under his name. First Speaker and, I shit you not, Chosen
Dummy.
of Mistra.
Get
Oh.
the fuck out.
You just
Is
blew
that
Sarah's mind.
Mistral? Was that Mistral's mom or?
Yeah. Oh God.
In a
no.
way, I will let any of you make a we'll say a religion check if you'd like to know who that is in character.
All right,
God
my
damn
first
it.
real
I was gonna
dice
say.
roll. Here we go.
16.
Can we get advantage if we've played Destiny? Because for speakers, of course, Bill 90.
I will. I'm
got
sorry. I will
8.
not. I will not allow this. 8 for
Damn it.
Varys. No. Okay.
22.
Okay. Did anybody roll higher than a 7? Or anybody not roll higher than a 17?
I did.
I did not.
I got a 16.
Yeah, I don't think Bree don't have no religion, so
Okay.
Bree just be chilling.
So Cascade, you're the only one that knows this, I guess.
Hope got a 20.
Or Hope got a
Hope
20.
got 20.
Yeah.
Hope, how much do you know about the god Mistra or Mistra?
You can ask someone else. That's fine.
Well, I know that Sarah knows a lot. So, Cascade, would you have told them what Chosen of Mistra means?
So Mistra is the goddess of magic. She's the one that brought the weave into existence. If Chosen of Mistra will clearly mean someone who's, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. We're dealing, I've never heard of this book. Have I ever heard of this book?
Make a... You know what? Make a history... How deep can you argue that Cascade's connections went? Like, how dark? Or would
That's a
Cascade
good
have stayed
question.
a little bit away from the more nefarious sides of the trade that she was in?
I feel like after taking the deal with Morningstar, she did get a little bit darker. Like, I wouldn't say she's like super, but I would say she was trending in that direction while, you know, doing tasks, because I think a little bit she'd
Okay.
kind of felt hopeless about the whole situation.
So I will let you roll for this. It'll be a history check for you. The DC's
And
lower because you said that you had kind of dabbled. It
And
would
I
have been
give advantage
how are you going to give advantage?
because Delg has spent over probably 100 years in a library with books reading, and since he's a cleric, and if it's a dark thing, he would be studying something that he would be fighting against.
I hear ya.
Mm-hmm.
This particular book is not referenced on your plane where you would have done that research.
Fair. All right, then I can't assist.
Please roll history.
God damn it, that's a 12.
So you recognize the name. Oh god, it would have been so good if I wouldn't have laughed at my own joke in my head. You recognize the name. You know that this name is definitely from some material that is about some pretty fucked up shit. Very dark. You would also recognize probably that, like, the texts you do know or that you might have come across are not really that sought after within your circles. However, you do know that there are people that have come to your circles and requested them. but it's not very common. Materials about this person or by this person or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay. So I know that it's we're talking about some fucked up shit. Would she know? Is it kind of one of those things where it's like you don't even want to know, dude? Like it's just fucked up, or would there be like a vein that she would have more insight on, like what kind of, you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm
Sure.
asking?
Actually, I'll let you put a couple things together. Do you remember who the master, the guy who was the pit boss, said was the former owner of this book?
The former owner, I probably got it in my notes. Stand by.
Morningstar, right?
Mm-mm.
Morningstar has
He's the
it
current
now.
owner. Wasn't
Oh.
it the Dracolich?
Previously in the possession of a powerful dragon.
I mean, okay, that tracks.
You could put a couple things together and put together powerful dragon in that region, Draco Lich.
Right.
The fucked up, the vein of fucked up shit is probably in the level of like undead, lich, immortality, that kind
Quick
of stuff.
question,
Cool.
because we're getting this information and she's putting it out there. Are we like back at Tan's house then? Like we're not in the casino anymore?
You are not in the casino anymore, but
All right.
whenever you guys are ready, we're gonna kind of fast forward to you being in Faerun, because
Okay.
Right.
you'll go there, you'll go through his portal, he'll send you off with
So
bells and whistles.
I want to make a
Del-
purchase before we leave.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
putting
absolutely.
that out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Delga would have piped up when she's talking about this and kind of chimed in with like, we know that there could be 12 books out there, and if he wants one of them, if this is one of them, like what we might have to do with all that information, you know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's possible.
Well, what are you talking about, Delg? Are you talking about keeping it for us, or?
Well,
Right.
we know that there's 12 swords, and right now our more immediate task is to take all 12 back to the temple.
Right.
We also know that the sword and the symbol made 2 of the 4 Sphinx kneel down when they entered the room, which means there should be 2 more items of some sort, assuming, to make the other 2 Sphinx kneel. And we also know that we kind of know that there are books as well that are like the swords, but they're books.
Uh-huh.
And if that's something else that we might need for the future, it's just something to think about, because if we get it and retrieve it, then we kind of know where it's at. But if we get it and give it up, like, it's something to think about, because obviously we've made a deal
Right.
to give it
help
to them.
people.
Right, but
I know what you're talking about, but I
helping the
see it
greater
like-
good over a couple of people is, I guess, what I'm suggesting, if it comes down to that. Helping 2 people or helping a whole, multi-universe?
And if we need those 2 people to help the multiverse?
Again, I am bringing up the information that I have, and it's something for everybody to think about.
I mean, I have a clear answer, but obviously I'm not the only one making decisions here, so that's fine. I understand what you mean.
It's possible that these are just books.
Yes, 100%.
It's obvious that if they cover items about lich, the making of a lich, death, followers, things of that nature, it's possible that
The book has to have some power to it.
This is why we were going to see the Dracolich first, right? To ask
Yeah.
questions. We can ask them about the book.
Yep,
Let's do that then.
I'm just bringing up the information, because trading this
Understood.
book for 2 lives is to us seems like an easy to make trade, but what makes this book so important for 2 lives? And if I'm correct,
Nothing
Tan's not
says-
some weakling.
Nothing says we couldn't trade the book, get the lives, and take the book back.
Tan's been
I like
captured.
that plan.
And we can't do that in the casino because the casino is quite anti-magical.
We find the thing that keeps
Well,
it from anti-magic.
Right. Again, I'm just bringing
mean,
it up so people are
yeah.
thinking about this, as all.
Yes.
Yep.
Gears are turning. I think. I don't really know how gears work.
Well, we can take
Once
a
we
look
have
at
the
Bree.
book, we have leverage. We can make the exchange somewhere outside the casino.
I don't know if that'll work.
There's
but
lots
yes.
of options. We have
Yes.
lots of options.
Yes.
It's
we
kind
can
of good
try.
that we're bringing this up now instead of, when we're in the Dracolich's chamber and we're like, hang
That's-
on a second, let's go talk over here in the corner where you could
That's-
probably still hear us. So, like,
That's why I still want to bring it up now.
that's a good point. They might still be helpful even with these questions. Anyway, I think we're just kind of talking in circles now, but I understand what you mean. We have options.
So, has anyone done any shopping or wanted to do any shopping before you left?
Yes.
Oh, good.
I just need to find one thing.
Okay. Delg, do we want to just fast forward through yours and say that you've done it?
Yes.
Okay. So you've done it, and you can introduce whatever you want whenever you want.
Did you buy an
Severus.
elephant?
Severus, what's up with you?
I need 1,500 gold worth of ruby dust.
So, a couple things about the city of Sigil and your current standing there. You are still technically kind of outsiders, and you're very much seen as outsiders. Kylie can help you with the price.
She's back.
I
was about to
you're
ask
right.
that.
Yeah, thank you. No, she's not. She's not there. So it's going to cost you more than
Well,
1,500.
so in fairness, though, I would have been looking for this before, as soon as
Okay, yeah, he would have been like
Since we
before she
leveled up.
disappeared.
She would have helped,
Sure.
yeah.
Then yeah, she would have
Yeah,
been able to
yeah.
get it to you for that.
Also, before we fast forward out, I did receive a book. It's not in my inventory yet because I forgot the name, but that book is going over to Varys, and I'm sure he's going to read it before we leave.
Oh,
Well, it'll take a week.
You have to read it several days in a row or whatever, so might as well read it now when we're in a
Yeah.
safe space.
But it's 8 hours a day for 6 days.
Right, but we're fast forwarding, so you might as well read it.
If we're gonna do that, then if the DM allows that we're gonna take a week, then yes, I would do that. I would
Well,
definitely
not even
do
a week, but just at least start reading it now is what I was saying.
Yeah.
is it the
True.
book that I think
I guess
it
I
is?
could read more than
We're
8
gonna have
hours
to
a
go
day.
to a break, guys. I'm
Yes.
really sorry to interrupt.
Yep.
That's okay.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
More coffee for me.
So hey, stuff happened. I don't know what I missed. What I miss?
The Tome of Leadership, I'm giving it to
Mhm.
Varys. And he was wondering if, like, how far fast forward are we going? Like, how many days? If it's going to be the week, does he get that now, or is it only going to be one day? Or
So, I mean, it really depends. I'm going to give you some in-character information and some out-of-character information. In character, the thought of fast forwarding was just so that we didn't have to deal with the minutia of you going back to the casino, negotiating the portal, going through the portal, and then getting from the portal to where I'm assuming you will go next.
right.
However, you can take extra time and read the book if you want.
I
The out
think
of
that we
character
would wait.
The out-of-character information is you are in a point of the story now where things are happening, whether you interact with them or not.
Okay.
So there may be consequences of waiting. Completely up to you, though.
But that's out of character.
That's
I
out-
think
that's
in
out of
character, in character, I would urge him to read the book, because of what it is.
In character, Cascade would advise against. We have Kylie on the lam. Conceivably, the bidding for Tan is only increasing as we take time to get this book. If it's something we can do on the fly, great.
So-
but
Well, speaking of,
So
what,
let me-
was the terms of our agreement with him? I don't remember, because
Bring the
I
book
do
back.
remember him. Yeah, but I thought he gave us a time frame.
Oh, I didn't write that down. Oh no.
That's what I was wondering. I guess that would depend on. I'm not too worried about Kylie like I am worried, but she lives here and she's adept with what she does. I'm pretty sure she can keep herself out of trouble. But I thought
So
Comfort me, tiny crab.
the debt Tan took on was 20k gold.
Mhm.
Tan can be sold to private bidders for 120k, which is about 150. He offered to wipe that for you to do this favor, which will only wipe his debt, not all of Kylie's debt.
no, but when we came back, we were gonna be able to do another one. But my
Right.
question was, I thought he gave us a time frame for him.
I'm not seeing any notification of like how many days we have.
He did agree that he would allow you time to do this. This is important to him, so he would have been
Probably
slightly flexible.
I imagine that he's not going to be willing to give us more than.
I imagine he doesn't want to go get it himself, and he's making us do it.
That's why I
And he doesn't
said,
have a lot of options.
that's why I said he's a little flexible.
At the same time, he's got people.
Give us like a couple weeks.
Maybe
Yeah.
a couple. I mean,
I
okay,
think
if
the
we've got
most-
a couple weeks, great.
I think the
But-
most he would give you is 2 weeks,
Okay.
Well,
because at that point his bidders are going to start losing interest, possibly.
all right. So with that,
So
I
hold
think,
on. Do we have 3 days of admin stuff that we could do before we left?
Speaking
Because
of
if I just said you guys do stuff, I'm locking myself in a room for 16 hours a day for 3 days, then I can knock this out.
I mean, I can think of things, right? We're going to encounter a Draco Lich. Cascade could double down on trying to research
I could
where
help.
they're from, what they do, anything
We also got the
back items
information.
they have.
Yeah, the hall of whatever, I can't remember because that's in another notebook.
Where you paid way too much money. So you should have had it like
What
in
is
2
money?
minutes. I mean, if you could actually read it in 3 days, then I would be down for that. I would go out and buy the ruby dust for him as long as he gave me the gold, so that he didn't have to worry
Yeah.
about it. Which obviously doesn't change your interaction, but
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
Be
yeah.
fed.
So let's do this then. I will tell you that going to the Hall of Records, which I think is the hall.
Thank you.
I think it was the Hall of Records. They don't have any information for you yet.
Fuck,
And
okay.
they are unbelievably sorry and like like it's full on like you've you ordered a 10-course meal and it's been an hour and a half and they never put the order in. Like they're full on like, we are so sorry, we're gonna make this right.
Is this over the 3 days? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
You get the sense, who would have gone with you?
Yeah, who would have come with it?
We asked about Cascade's mom, so Cascade
Right.
would be there.
Because presumably, it's assuming that they're in the same location. So
So, Hope, you get the sense that they are genuinely trying to get this done, and they're frustrated at themselves for not being able to do it.
okay.
So there's likely a snag or a challenge that they're running into.
Okay.
Ferris, you are reading, and if I recall correctly, none of that requires rolls. It's just you reading and then it happens.
Yeah, it's just an amount of time, 48 hours over a period of 6 days or fewer.
So you're able to do that. Enjoy your astronomically fucking high charisma.
Yes, I will. I don't know if you will, though.
I mean, he already has to deal with my perception. Why not your charisma too?
Yeah, exactly. Why shouldn't I be part of the problem?
See, you make it hard on yourself, all right?
It did. Well, you know what? I could have hit randomize again. I could have.
Yeah.
You're right. You're not wrong. Does Bree or Fenjor want to do anything before you guys leave in these 3 days?
Bree's good.
Okay.
I am good.
Okay. I will ask you, Fenjor, can you make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Don't like that.
Ooh, love this.
19.
Thanks. Cascade, you're looking into information about dragons, right?
Yeah, specifically trying to liches, shadow dragons,
Shadowfell.
like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, understanding this is where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to make sure that we understand, like, do they follow traditional dragon customs? Like, what? She doesn't want to go in there and cause a kerfuffle if that's something that she can avoid through research. I mean, honestly, she would be trying to figure out weaknesses, things to look out for, stuff like that. She's doing recon on a target.
Okay. Where would you go?
I believe there was. I mean, we could the Hall of Records, if that's someplace that it would work. I need to consolidate my notes here.
I think there was a
know-
library.
I thought that there was. Let me look really quick.
I don't think I know Doug would have like advised like the Hall Records as a last
Um,
resort because of the time.
Let's see. The catacombs are a labyrinth, font of knowledge. And that's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, where I could have sworn there was a library somewhere, but I'm struggling to find it in my notes.
Let me also scour my notes.
She would also look into the Society of Luminiferous Ether. Hall of Information. That's where she's headed.
Mm-hmm.
Ease.
So I'll let you do both these things. Please give me an investigation roll for the Hall of Information and an investigation roll for the Society of Luminiferousness. Hence.
You gotta be 2 7s. Wait, time out. I have inspiration. I want to use it.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
22 on one of them, so 7 and a 22. I would rather get 22 for the Dracolich stuff.
Okay.
If possible.
Yeah, the society you had been previously told and were you had discovered very closed doors. Got to know a member to get in to the door to even be considered as a member. You don't even get the time of day from anyone asking about it or trying to find out information. As far as the Draco Lich is concerned, I will ask with a roll that high what you, Sarah, know about Shadow Dragons and Draco Liches.
I know that when you take a big old dragon, you put it in front of the sun, it makes a big old shadow. And then you go in that shadow, you go, oops, I fell, and then you fall into the shadow fell.
I felt like,
Oh, good.
Seems legit.
yeah, I mean, you can't argue with that logic. Like, can you?
It's flawless.
It's too
Here's
good.
what
I'd like to insight check this though.
I like the idea that Cascade is telling this joke to Delg on the street as she's just having some like mental breakdown, and he's like, okay, cool. So what do I know? I mean, we talked about it in a little bit before. Shadow dragons are created when dragons spend too long in the Shadowfell, right?
Yep.
A Draco Lich is a dragon who has committed itself to being a lich. Dragons, I believe that like any weaknesses or resistances would be based on what color they were. I don't know that for certain. And then lich, obviously undead, capable of incredible magics. And that's the extent of Sarah's knowledge.
Okay. So a couple other things with the roll that high that you discover about shadow dragons. Dragons themselves tend to make their lairs in, well, depending on the dragon, it can be more often than not kind of deep subterranean cave-like areas. And in some of those, there are portals that can be discovered. And if a dragon were to find one of those and go through the Shadowfell and become attracted in some way to that particular realm of existence and stay for long enough, it would start to corrupt is not the right word, but like mechanically it's the right word. It would start to break down like the shine of their of the scales on their skin. It would start to make them like less fond of light and more fond of being in darkness. And over time, the Shadowfell would exert its full force on this creature. And so a shadow dragon is very realistically just a dragon that has gone to the Shadowfell and given itself in to what it's trying to do.
Real quick question on top of all of that.
Yeah.
Does the old type of dragon persist at all? Like, for example, if it was a red dragon that went in there compared to a blue dragon or a bronze dragon or, whatever, does any of that, like, red dragons are known as the more powerful ones compared to, like, a bronze. Does that change anything with that shadow dragon? Or does it encompass it all the way?
Obviously, you'd be asking this question through Cascade from Cascade's research.
Yeah, and
I'm assuming Cascade would look this up too.
yeah.
It sometimes yes, sometimes no. Most of the
Depending how
time,
long
yes.
they're.
I mean, yeah. I mean, depending on how much of it happens. Like, if you were to come across a shadow dragon that was in the process of transforming into one, then it might still have some of its original. But if it's fully transformed into a shadow dragon, then it would have different characteristics.
Would Cascade, if it's more dangerous to be a full shadow dragon or a hybrid shadow dragon?
If I remember correctly, GM, we kind of knew something about this before, and correct me if I'm wrong. Shadow dragons typically are weaker than like a red dragon.
Let me check
Was that
something real
correct?
fast. I don't
that
think that's
accurate?
I remember-
exactly correct.
I thought you said that.
Let me see.
They're
if I can-
smarter, I think, but weaker
They're
physically.
more intelligent, but weaker. Yes, exactly.
I believe that's what we were when we were asked or talking to Artemis about it.
So I will tell you this. Artemis was going for answers too.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree that is what Artemis said.
Mm. Is that something I could confirm through this research since I'm here? And that's, again, she's trying to find out how we can keep ourselves safe in this, with this being,
Sure.
right?
There are conflicting accounts, mostly because, well, honestly, there aren't that many of them.
That we know of.
Correct.
They're too smart.
So let's get to the other side of your question.
Mm-hmm.
Draco Lich. You're gonna get a little extra for your higher than 20 roll. You do some basic research on liches and immortality that's sought out by high-level wizards. How does Cascade feel about that? Being a wizard herself.
Yeah. Cascade sees the world in shades of gray. So I think that she understands that most of these guys aren't trying to live forever for any altruistic intentions. But I don't know if she judges them for it necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's used to people making choices that are perceived as wrong or bad to achieve ends that they perceive as good. So I feel like she's like, yeah, sure, this could be a problem, and yeah, sure, that person could be evil and bad, or it could, but
So I'm with Cascade, so I feel like I'd be looking at some of these books with her, and when we get to this part, I would like stop reading and look up at her and says, have you ever thought about immortality, knowing that she's a wizard as well?
no. What good would it do me?
Allow you to study longer, know more.
That's not something I care about, really. Yes, I can read every single book, but what's the point? I'm only one person. Better to
Fair.
do something with this life.
You start looking up about Draco Liches. A couple interesting things cross your purview in your research. One, you come upon a very helpful chart of dragon age cycles. And
Ooh, very good.
I don't know how important this information is to you. I can copy and paste it if you'd like. However, here's the basic age groupings of dragons. You've got wormlings or hatchlings. They're about 0 to 5 years. You've got very young. They're 6 to 15. You've got young dragons, which are usually the kind of lowest that are really encountered anywhere. Those are from 16 to 25 years. Then you've got juvenile, which are not really seen that often, 16 to 50. Young adult, 51 to 100. Adult, 101 to 200. Mature adult, 201 to 400. Old, 401 to 600. Very old, 601 to 800. Ancient, 801 years to 1,000 years. There are 2 categories above ancient. Worm, WYRM, which is 1001 to 1200 years. And older than that is considered a great worm.
Is it just question marks?
Yeah.
Just fucking.
So 1001 to 2000, right?
1001 to 1200 is worm.
1200. Thank you.
And ancient is
Okay.
801 to 1000. There is no record of a life expectancy for a dragon. For natural causes, at least.
So, meaning, I mean, I'm just gonna connect some dots. Lichdom makes it so you can live forever, right?
Yes.
So if there's no cause for a dragon to worry about dying of old age, then I mean it's clearly due to like being killed or whatever, right? Because liches have phylacteries, they're able to regenerate from there, blah blah blah. But would it be fair to assume that the only reason you would do that is because you are afraid of body death, I guess?
I mean, that's
Or
one
is it for
possible
the
reason.
magics?
It's one possible reason. Magics is for another reason, but I would argue that a dragon that's that old, that's lived for that long, could have access to whatever magics they wanted.
Right.
That question is a good one and leads me to the extra information I'm going to give you. You follow that rabbit hole down, and there's almost no talk that you can find in the textbooks that you're given and that you currently have access to. Remember, you are still relatively new and you don't have your advocate here, so they're really kind of restricting you from the kind of higher level stuff. You see 2 obscure references. Both of them are in conjunction with recorded dragons who have become Draco Liches. Both of those references include the Cult of the Dragon and the Well of Dragons. You can find no other information on those 2 things.
Just because. Have I ever heard of either one of those?
You have not.
Okay.
Stand by.
And I'm only shutting the roll down because there's no roll you can give me because of where you're from.
That hurts.
I'm sorry. Listen.
There's no dragons where I'm from?
We can't all be born in Faerun. I didn't say that.
I know.
But the Well of Dragons is not where you're from. If
Yeah.
it's a place or if
Well.
it's something else.
Do you feel like doing a ceremony?
Might be helpful. What one
Shit,
do you
are they
want?
getting married again?
I'm gonna sit down for this. Hang on.
I have a spell at my disposal that I think might be able to give us a little more information on these 2 items. I believe you're familiar.
I don't think so.
She would just kind of sigh and just say, "Go get your incense," and she will bring down ivory strips, and try to cast legend lore. This would be the next day. It would, so she can prepare it. Yeah, get wrecked.
So I shouldn't proc the wedding church bells?
I mean,
I
I don't
have-
know. Depends on what we find out, man.
I'd love if there was like a lost in translation thing where Cascade was
Yeah.
like, it's obviously legend lore, and Doug's like, well, gotta get my suit back on again.
I know.
Uh-oh.
Like, it's kind of funny because, like, right before you said go get your ivory strips, he was reaching for this necklace underneath his underneath his shirt. Oh.
God, debated. I'm not happy. Okay.
I know.
So
Oh,
so
Ah.
you're casting legend lore.
yeah. Let me drop that in the chat so you can see.
Okay.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It is a 5th level. Boop. Well, shit. Is it gonna work? Because it's not a person, place, or object. It's a group.
Well, you could also. No, the well of dragons is a place probably.
Yeah, she'd go for that.
So you're casting legend lore about the Well of Dragons.
Uh-huh.
Or you could also do it on the Draco Lich itself. Just putting that out there.
I thought about it for a split second. But I think she's more interested in because the way that this Draco Lich works is like learning knowledge, right? And so if we're in the Hall of Information where there's no reference to this thing, and we can show up and say, yeah, but we know about it, I feel like that will weigh more than not. So yeah, I'm gonna double down. She casts legend lore on the Well of Dragons. So
I would
brief
assume this
sum-
is. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Brief summary of the significant lore about the thing you named. It can be a whole bunch of stuff.
So for me, this spell is a very specific kind of magic. And I can't remember what it's called.
Divination.
Nope. Nope. There's an actual name for it.
I got him.
Yeah, I mean, it says it right there, though.
Shut up. I think it's psychometry. Yeah, the supposed ability to discover facts about an event or person by touching inanimate objects associated with them. So to me, this spell has always a little bit felt like that, where you key into an object, or you key into a thought, or you key into an idea, and suddenly you, like, the universe opens up before you. Would you like to describe what this process is like for you?
Yeah, I think so. It has components, right? So Cascade would go with Delg's assistance, set out. She would take her spell tome, and she would have it, and around her would be the incense that would be lit, with 4 ivory strips, each pointing one of the 4 ways of the, compass. And she'd be standing in the middle, holding her book, casting the spell words in order to determine it. I think her magic it comes from the book itself, right? So it would almost be like the letters lift up off the pages, and as they do, there's a faint fog or mist, something that looks like it rolls in off the ocean, as it kind of billows around her, and to anyone else it would just look like she's doing some dope hookah, but inside the cloud and in her mind, I think it would be that kind of like moving. It's like she's inside like a mist cloud whirling forward, like seeing scenes or hearing people talking about it as she like bounces back and forth, the letters like forming quick sentences before taking her to like to the next thing. And it would just be a very like cerebral experience overall that she would just kind of stand and observe. But I think on the outside, like it's just Delg outside a ceremony circle, like making sure nobody like bothers her while and like don't open the door because we don't want the mist cloud to get blown away, kind of a deal.
The images that come to your head. You first see chaos. And it's not like abstract chaos. It's chaos of sound and sight. And it takes you a few beats to realize that what you're seeing is war. You see a just horrific clash of the living and the undead taking place at the foot of mountains. And as you kind of look up at the surroundings, you see that just between two of the peaks, there's a sun that's setting right between it. And somehow, that particular image locks in your mind as Sunset Mountains. And the image kind of flashes forward a little bit to the aftermath, where there is just bones littering the ground everywhere. And that image locks into your mind as the Battle of the Bones, or Battle of Bones. And then you see the lands around this mountain. Not quite in a valley, but in a little recess. There is a structure. It looks like it's under construction, oddly. And you can see in this particular area, there is a expanse around it that is barren. But inside this recess is giant bones. And somehow, as you're going through this, you instantly recognize they're dragon bones. This is an ancient and sacred place where dragons come to die. You see an image of a warrior. You've seen soldiers before. You've seen captains and lieutenants. You've even seen generals and admirals of armies from your life before. The presence that this person commands is unsettling. He is a hulking, muscular, giant man. Not giant as in not a human, but just an overwhelming presence. And you can see that he's kind of overseeing this construction. And you see that emblazoned on the chest of his armor is a symbol. The symbol, also, direct to your point, the reason I had to get the books out is because I knew this was fucking coming. The symbol, which I can't get to, there it is, It looks like a flame with eyes that is burning above a dragon's claw. You have seen this symbol before. It was a sketch, handwritten in the margins of the first book you found that mentioned the cult of dragons. Your vision clears, and you come back to the present.
The little mist cloud, as the spell ends, it's like the letters kind of fall out like rain, and the clouds just kind of dissipate around. She'll wipe away some of the moisture from her cheeks and kind of close her book shut and turn and look at Delg. War. This well of dragons seems to be a great cataclysm of two armies, dead and undead. There's a sacred place where dragons go to die, somewhere between Sunset Mountains and the Battle of Bones. There's a building or something, legends of a building being built by what seems to be the cult of dragons, and there's a warrior that's heading up, or at least pertinent to the construction of this place in this area.
Didn't we just read that dragons don't die of natural causes?
Yes.
Or along that, so
perhaps it's when they've received
when they're
wounds, or perhaps there's no record of dragons dying of natural causes because they've never been found. If they're sick or old, perhaps they only go and die here. I suspect that it's more that they go to die there of wounds. However, why would someone construct a facility in a sacred place where dragons go to die? It sounds like we have more information and more leads, but whatever it is, whyever it is, this cult of the dragons has, well, the well of dragons. This was like in a recess. Perhaps it's a literal well of dragons just layering on top of each other century over century. As they die, their bones stacking. Is there some sort of component advantage in the carcass of a dragon? I mean, I know that their parts can be used for various spell components, but
that many? I mean,
massive quantities, yes. I mean, I think this Draco Lich will give us more information, but this information might impress upon her that we know things and make her care.
I just think it just gave us a lot more questions.
Perhaps. It just gave us information without context. All we're missing is context. Delg, have you ever considered immortality?
Not immortality, but when you rephrased or when you said it like you did, it questions why we bring people back then. I died, why was I brought back then? Isn't that immortality in itself?
Perhaps. Though now you carry the trauma of dying.
Just don't think about it. There's other things to worry about. It's in the past, right?
I'm a scribe and scholar, Delg, not a therapist. I don't know.
Okay.
Let's go find the others. I think this is the limit of what we can find in the given time.
Sounds good.
There is one more piece of information you find. You discover that there is something about a shadow dragon, that the exposure to the Shadowfell kind of rips part of their soul out of their body or disconnects it in some way. And then you also read about Draco liches, that it's very much like a lich where the soul is contained somewhere else. Mechanically, theoretically, a shadow dragon should not be able to turn into a Draco lich.
Presuming it's a full shadow dragon. If the process didn't go through all the way.
Yep.
Or if the Shadowfell takes a piece of the soul and somehow that is retrieved and captured, it's possible that this being is a Draco lich, but potentially not of its own making.
Even more questions. Wonderful.
We're definitely pushing the bounds of theory here. Not really my field.
So, if you're heading out, Doug went shopping.
I did go shopping. As we headed back to Tan's place, a shop caught a glimpse or caught my eye, and I tell Cascade that I'll catch up to her. I'm gonna make a stop, and I go into a shop.
Can I just see the name of the shop?
Actually, I think.
So you would have asked around about this first, and you were directed towards a person
First.
within Chirpers,
Okay.
and that's where they would have asked you to meet them.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. Cascade would see Delg wanting to peel off to go to Chirpers. Would roll her eye and keep the materials that she had under her arm and continue back to the house with a wave.
Shortly after you get back, I will stroll in to Tan's house, and I'd sit down in a chair, and then you probably would have noticed something rustle around on my shoulder, and then it would crawl down onto my arm, and there will sit a cat. And looking at it more closely, it is a dino cat. Yes.
You did it.
Except I
Got
picture
it.
it with orange stripes and not pink stripes.
Oh my god.
Super cute cat. Still kind of young though. And I kind of show it to everybody and be like, everybody, meet Mittens.
Mittens. Hi, Mittens.
Mittens is skittish around all of you, and you can tell a cat's demeanor is usually whatever, I'm here. This one in particular seems to just be putting up with Doug.
I would have ritual cast this and I would be talking to it as much as possible to keep it calm as well.
Okay. What do you say?
Why is that the cutest?
I'm just comforting it and not really saying much. With it being skittish, I'd tell her that everything's fine. These are friends, and just try to keep it calm, just to help. I don't know. Like I said, just strengthen the bond.
You have looked at the stat block for your Dino Cat, right?
Yes.
I'd like to point out the part of that particular spell that says that it is knowledge and awareness is limited by their intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it knows that it.
Yeah. No. It's able to. You are able to kind of calm it and placate it, and it's probably a large part of the reason why it's still with you. The person that you had talked to was the person who was in charge of getting the exotic animals for the displays at Chirpers. Those globes that were in the back of the room. It was not cheap, and you know that. And again, you will still have to tame it before it will actually do anything for you.
Right.
So, as Radgast returns in the chat, is there anything else you'd like to do before you head out of Sigil and back to Faerun?
During the rest of the time that we're still there, Hope would only once purposefully bother Varys while he's reading his book, other than to bring him food and remember you gotta hydrate, get up and stretch a little bit while you're relaxing and reading as much as you can. But only once would she purposefully try and bring him out of his focus of reading. Probably towards the end of one of the days where he's finishing his reading shift, would just walk in and hi, I have a question for you. You're muted.
Muted.
Sorry. Yes, I could use a break from this.
Yeah,
what's your question?
Look away from something super far away and, just to try and focus those eyes a little bit. Yeah, I still wanted to talk to you about the whole werewolf lycanthropy thing. Because that's concerning.
Yes. I mean, what do you want to talk about? Got bit? Nothing's
Right?
really happened yet, but I mean, that seems like it's a matter of time, and it kind of just didn't seem important based on other things that were going on. So
Understandable.
it was sort of a we'll deal with that later, because there's a really bad vampire trying to kill us.
Right. Kind of like when you went and touched one of those sarcophaguses things.
No.
Right.
No, this is not the same as that. I did not voluntarily get bitten.
Okay.
We were fighting the werewolves in
I know. But it's still another thing that you just said. I'm just going to push it aside and focus on other important things, which I get. Obviously, Strahd was an asshole, and we had to take care of that. And I appreciate the sacrifices that you made. But you have to take care of yourself too. You can ask for help. That's kind of what I'm here for.
I know. You're right. I mean, it literally, I mean, seriously was, okay, these guys bit me, so yeah, probably that's not good, but right now there's this thing going on, so you got to focus on that. And then later on, it was like, oh, now we're on staircase, and that and we're in the abyss, and this thing's going on, and you know what I mean. It just keeps getting pushed off by more important things. But
Right.
you're right. It has to be dealt with because eventually something not fun is going to happen. So I was thinking that if we're still planning on seeking out the Council of Mages or the healers in Waterdeep, then that would be the time to address it.
Did you not think
I mean,
that
unless
I
you
could
know
help?
how to cure this.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Have you ever treated a person
Me?
with
no,
lycanthropy before?
not me.
Yes.
No. But my grandmother, I think, helped someone once, way before me or my brother ever existed, or even before my mom and dad got together. Is she would tell us about those things. You know, in her teachings of learning to become a healer, she spoke about this kind of stuff. Do I know how to practically apply that? Not really. I'd be willing to sit there and think and even ask Eldath, hey, what do you got for me? But it's obviously something that I would want to help you with. So I know internalizing struggles and trying to come up with your own solutions is one route, but asking someone who would give them their life for you is another thing. So remember that.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I wasn't trying to solve it myself. I was kind of hoping it would just go away.
That'd be nice if all problems were
But-
like that, but then we wouldn't be here in Sigil,
Right?
I don't think.
Well, yes. I would love if you would help me with this problem.
And I would love to help you with this problem. And I gotta talk to Delg and see if he wants this solved too, or if he's just like, cool, I can go be a dog or whatever.
Yeah, well, he just bought a cat, so I don't know how that's going to work, but...
Well, that's true. They probably wouldn't get along very well at that point.
yeah, I mean, you never know, but... It might be fun to watch. Anyway, I did plan to bring it up as soon as we sort of got to a, center of advanced healing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But we seem to get farther away from that place the longer we are
So,
tracking this game.
right, the reason I'm bringing it up now, other than just now comprehending it, was putting two and two together and realizing what Fendror brought back with him.
What? I don't understand.
He's got a water skin full of water from Eldath. From her.
Oh,
Not just like my waterfall or the lake or whatever, but from my god. So I don't know if that would do anything. I don't really know the special properties that it would have. I also have some new spells that she's just kind of shoved into my head that might be able to help. I don't know.
well, I mean, if you have any ideas, I'm game.
Okay. Give me just a smidge of time. Tell that curse to
Okay.
just back off for a little bit, and hopefully I can figure something out.
I will do everything I can. I don't know what that is, but
That I don't know. I was just,
yes, whenever you're
Fingers
ready,
crossed
I'm ready.
okay. Just please don't forget that I care about you a whole heck of a lot and will do anything for you. So like, just don't forget about me as a resource too.
I won't. I know it. It truly. I wasn't hiding it. It truly was just something that was compartmentalized to, alleviate extra worry at the time.
I mean, I understand that completely. And she'll just kind of like tug at the now permanent bandage up her neck. Like, I still got these I got to figure out. And pointing towards the vampire bites. Like, I don't know how to get rid of those. I don't want that forever. That's horrible. I'm still trying to figure stuff out. So,
Yes.
in closing, and I'll let you get back to your book. I will figure this out.
I know you will.
Okay, I'm gonna
I have
go
faith.
get dinner and bring it up so that you don't starve from reading a book forever. Okay, I'll see you later. And she just kind of like awkwardly backs out of the room. So on that note, Saint, what do I have to do to try and figure out how to get rid of this shit?
So you've tried Greater Restoration, right?
I mean, I did. I feel like even after that all happened, that was after the temple, which was after the bite. So
When she did Greater Restoration, she focused on the temple, the
There's, like,
blood
corruption.
years, the corruption.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it's supposed to cure everything, but
right.
So
But I have like other things.
make me a medicine check or
Okay.
an arcana check.
I'm gonna go medicine
Yep.
because I'm really good at that. God damn it, 14. It's a plus 10. Come on.
So 14
It's all right.
14 is enough to get you a couple things.
It's a number.
14 is enough to get you that you could try Greater Restoration. If it is a disease that is communicable in some way, and you focus on it, as everything you know about Greater Restoration should be able to cure it. However, this was a bite from a werewolf in Barovia, a demiplane
There it is.
of dread
There it is.
Yeah.
within the Shadowfell. There is likely a magical component to it of some kind. Why are werewolves there? They're not gotten rid of, they're kept there, which means there's probably some intent to their design and purpose, which means it was probably started by something with a lot of power.
Oh, shit.
So while traditional lycanthropy might be something that could be cured by Greater Restoration, there's a chance that that's only a component of fully curing the two of them. And I set the DC for this one at 13.
Oh my god, okay.
This next piece of information.
Right, yeah.
It bothers you a little bit that you've gone how long and nothing's happened.
Yeah, no, that's been on the mind since it happened,
So
at least for this person.
So make a general intelligence check for me for hope to put the pieces together. Because the information is there.
Intelligence?
The information is there.
Oh man. I got a +1 to that one, so let's just pray to the gods here. Well, 15.
15.
Yay.
15's enough to get this. You guys have only really been on one stable plane since Barovia, and it wasn't for that long. You were on the Infinite Staircase for a while. You're currently in Sigil at the center of the multiverse. You're in Barovia before that. But the time you were in Faerun, there were a progression of symptoms. Whether they told you about it or not.
Oh no.
Because I asked them to make con checks in Faerun at one point. So with a
Okay.
15, you might need to start trying to deal with this sooner than you thought. If you're going back to Faerun.
Okay.
Like I was gonna let it go.
Oh, I knew you were gonna let it go. I knew you were gonna let it go.
I did think of something that I probably would have been doing. I didn't think about it until now. Considering I did talk to Hope and Delg about what the effects of Eldast's water would be, and them not really knowing, I probably would have went to the Hall of Information.
Okay.
I forget what the minimum gold requirement was.
Or we don't know.
What was the their we had some sort of like idea though. I remember that.
It was like 100 gold. And they'd be like, all right, sweet. And they would go do it.
Okay. I'm gonna throw in 500 gold.
For what question?
To try to figure out the effects of the water of Eldath.
I would go with you and throw in 2,000 gold.
Oh,
Damn! Stop
I
spending
need
all your
to-
money.
I don't care about money. It means nothing to me.
I mean,
I
it's
mean,
gonna be something
and-
near the
and-
poorhouse.
the hall does
I still
owe
have money. Okay.
does
I would
all
never
Hope
let
a
that
little
happen.
bit for taking so long. I think, right?
It does. Yeah, I'll give you more information about that when we come back from our break. I will tell you about the water of Eldath. Yeah, so for those of you watching this video later, please hang out. I'm going to keep this break to be the same time as it would be for us, I think. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I might cut it. Who knows? But for now, bye.